What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Razor Danger here, and today I bring you guys my own Battlefield Hardline thoughts. Alright, so let's get right into it. To kick it off, we're not going to talk about single player. We're not talking about anything that's to do with single player. What we are talking about today is the Hardline's multiplayer. Because that's what we're all here for. We're not here for the single player experience, and I can tell you right off the bat, it's not worth buying for. I did not enjoy it at all. And honestly, I don't think it's that great, and I hope Battlefield never sticks with it again. So that was my single player impression. Now let's jump right on into the multiplayer. Start out with, guys, just to let you all know, if you're not aware already, Hardline is a cops versus robbers game. It is not a big military simulator like it used to be. Now it is just cops versus robbers, and I enjoy that. I think the maps are smaller. I think it's more car-to-car combat, and it's not as much tanks, helicopters, and everything. In fact, look at this nice little 4-piece. I think that it was maybe 3-piece. I'm not sure what that was, but it was just epic to me. And so we're gonna kick it off, and we're gonna talk about the classes. Now, there's 4 main classes. There's mechanic. Well, I'm not even gonna go by the new names. You got the standard assault, professional, support, and engineer, just like in Battlefields ever. And it's the same basic thing. Except this time you have to buy your guns, buy your gear, you have to buy whatever you want. It's similar to the Black Ops 1's way of doing everything. It was, you have to buy what you're doing. And to me, that's a lot. That's really cool. I really enjoy it. I appreciate it. And I want everybody to know that. On the flip side, I think the maps are a lot better because of this. Because you can buy your gear, and because you can buy whatever you want and do what you want, you can do more with what you have. So if you're running with a big group of people, you can, arrange your gear how you want to play. Alright, so, like, what I mean by that is that you don't need to have, one person using support, engineer, so on and so forth. If one person loves assault and that's what they want to do, that's great. Let them do that. And then what they can have is they can have the medic bag, but they can also have one other gadget. And, maybe they'd be the guy that has the zip line, while the other guy has a grappling hook. And you can just kind of arrange it how you want to arrange it. And it makes the map more fun and interesting when you can kind of coordinate your classes like that, because the map has different meanings. I mean, every time, in every Battlefield I've ever played, the maps are always interesting because you can change them. You can destroy the buildings, you can destroy whatever, however, whenever. And this time, it changes more because you can basically do exactly what I just said. You can play them to your advantages and how you want to play. And sometimes they'll throw off the enemy. And that's really cool, and I very, very, very much appreciate that from Battlefield Hardline. Another thing that I love about this game over Battlefield 4 are the maps, as I said before. It does not look as pretty as Battlefield 4, in my own opinion. I know a lot of people that disagree with me. I know a lot of people don't like Hardline because it's not a military shooter. However, graphic-wise, I think it's just more of a reskin version of Battlefield 4, but it's more urban, so it's kind of uglier. You're kind of in the ghetto most of the time in the games. You're never at a really sweet estate. There is one map where you're in a really, really nice estate, but that's it. That's one map. But I mean, overall, the game is very, very fun, and some of the night maps are great, like this one right here. Another one that I really like is Downtown. That's more of an open, colorful kind of map. You got to play that in the beta if you didn't play that before. That's another thing I like about Battlefield. They have betas. Before I got this game, I picked up the beta way back in March, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I think that helps the games overall, because then you get a wider... You get more people buying it, you get more people in the community, as well as you get more people complaining to the devs what they don't like, what they do like, and they can fix that. And I've noticed that, like, a lot of the things that they had in the beta, the guns were really, really cheap, and now their guns are a little bit more expensive. That's a plus. And, yeah, so far, that is my guns kind of impression. There are many, many different guns in Hardline. There are a lot of, there's just a lot in Hardline overall. The maps, though, I do find myself just playing 1 or 2 maps repetitively, and that's not because I am on a server browser. I always do a quick match whenever I play. I just think that it's a little bit more fast. You get it faster. You get into like more full lobbies. So I normally get into a quick match lobby, and I find myself repeating the same maps over and over again. And so there's not too many maps, but there's not, too little. So that's okay. At least the maps are different, and I like that about Battlefield a lot. Another thing. The guns and stuff, there are a lot to choose from. So one thing that is different from Call of Duty is that, in Call of Duty you have maybe one scope that's really, really good, and in Battlefield 4 it's the same way. In Battlefield 4 it was the Coyote sight, and I am pretty sure they took it away in Hardline. I'm not positive on that, don't quote me on that. However, they do have a lot more attachments for your guns. So, maybe Call of Duty has one attachment, and that means Battlefield will have 5 more, and that's crazy to me. I think that's, there's just a lot that goes into what you do with your guns. There's a lot of camos you can choose from, there's a lot of crazy things you can choose from. And there's also a little bit different game modes. You actually want to play these different game modes. And so, coming up next, which should be right about here, we have the different games. We got Heist, Hotwire, Blood Money, what else? You have the Heist, Hotwire, Blood Money, Crosshairs, Rescue, Small Conquest, Large Conquest. I think there's one more that I'm missing, but I'm not too sure, guys. But I found myself traveling through the different game modes because they were all interesting and they all have their benefits. And I encourage everyone that gets to the game to do the same thing. It was just a lot of fun to hop on and try all these different game modes. Rescue was fun because it felt really, really competitive. Conquest is the same as always. I haven't been playing Conquest that much on this particular game. These are all the sites that you can get. I kind of went in depth so I could show you guys all of the different things. So you see what I mean, why there's a lot of sites and such. But basically, I think my favorite game mode, I know I'm all over the place with my commentary here, but I think my favorite game mode is Hotwire. And because it's so much faster than Conquest, and because it just, you get money a lot quicker, and it's just, to me, it's more fun. It seems more like Fast and Furious. I enjoy it a lot, and that's my favorite game mode. As you guys saw there's many different melee, whatever you want to call it. There's different melee weapons in this game, and what I like about it is that sledgehammers are like a one-hit kill, and knifing, every single melee weapon that you have in this game has its own different kind of transition. So if you, transition is kind of a bad word, but basically you have a different animation for how you hit somebody with the different melee weapons. If you have a baton or a baseball bat as a cop, you can arrest the criminals after you hit them down on the ground enough. Or if you have a sledgehammer, it's a one-hit kill, and the sledgehammers can like break down the walls easily, but the knives cannot. And so that, that's pretty cool. I think I like that about Battlefield, and I hope that returns. I'm trying to just think about what else that I want to talk about in this little thoughts and preview here. The vehicles are definitely fun. There's not a whole lot. There's not any tanks. There's not any jets. There's maybe 1 or 2 helicopters, but that's pretty much it. And yeah, so that's my overall impressions of Battlefield Hardline. I gotta say, if I gotta give it a rating, I'd say it's about, I kind of like it the same as Battlefield 4. So if you enjoyed Battlefield 4, you're probably gonna enjoy this game. If you did not enjoy Battlefield 4, you might, I don't know, this particular Battlefield kind of, the way I see it through my eyes, and I'm not a big Battlefield player. I appreciate Battlefield. I don't like dissing it. I'm not about the whole Call of Duty versus Battlefield life. I know I put up like 2 or 3 videos about it, but honestly, when it comes to my head, I appreciate both games, and I like to think that I'm a decent member of the community for both games. And so, like I said before, guys, this particular game reminds me a lot of Call of Duty. And what I mean by that, the time to kill is much quicker. The maps are much smaller. The vehicles are less. There's more just cars and motorcycles, and the other ones were like jets, tanks, helicopters. I don't know, there's a lot in the other ones. So this particular game reminds me more of Call of Duty, as it's a little bit more urban setting. Just the way it plays is a little bit more like Call of Duty. I think this particular game is trying to grab fans from the Call of Duty franchise, from the fan base of Call of Duty, and get them ready for Battlefield 5, because that's just how it feels to me. And I feel like it did a pretty good job on consoles. On PC, it's not selling that great, but on consoles, it's doing pretty well. I've never had a trouble getting into a game, and it takes little to few seconds on when you do a quick match. I don't know about the server browser. I haven't really been on that much, as I've said before. Definitely, if you're gonna pick up Battlefield Hardline, make sure some other friends have it, because when you're playing it by yourself, it's not going to be as enjoyable. It will be fun, but you're going to get bored extremely quickly. And so just be sure, make sure that you have a few friends that have the game, that you have a good time hanging out with, because it is one of those kind of games where you got to communicate, you got to know what you're doing. And I also encourage you to try out all the game modes because I found them all interesting and diverse and unique. If you want me to, guys, I can go and do a whole nother video on the game modes, but they're fascinating to me. You got one where you have to rescue some hostages, another one where you have to protect a VIP. You have your standard Battlefield game modes, a different take on a Battlefield game mode. Heist, which is a lot of fun, like, you know, constant back and forth action. And it's basically, to me, it feels like a reskin of Battlefield 4, but with better game modes, and I think the guns are a little bit different. I don't know how to say that. There's less guns for each class, I think, compared to Battlefield 4. But as I said before, guys, this is my overall thoughts and impressions of Battlefield Hardline. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Make sure you comment. Tell me if you like Battlefield 4 or Hardline more. And as always, guys, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. All subscribers are appreciated. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you very much for watching.